Hello, welcome, Spartan. Welcome. So, I'm gonna continue the otome game. Let me just boot it up. So there's a problem with the otome game. After I went to sleep, I realized yes, all the music is copyrighted, surprisingly. So it's like, I think gonna have to mute the sound for the otome game, but I think that'll be fine because I'll just like have some other music playing and it'll just be me reading. So I think that's still gonna be okay. I really like them. It's unfortunate because I really like the music in the game, but there were like so many like copyright notifications. Like there were like 4 or 5 on that one, the live stream yesterday. So that's real sad. But yeah, hello, happy Valentine's Day. I finally woke up. I slept about like 4 till like basically 2:30. I'm just gonna have this music playing if that's alright. Basically the same as the CNY music because I think that's a little more chill and less maybe like over the top is what I'm trying to say. Okay, wait. I'm just gonna wait for the game to load in OBS for a little bit. For some reason it's not loading. I don't know why. But we're gonna go for loaded. Let me switch the screen. Actually, wait. Let me lower the volume of the game music first for myself. Okay. Alright. So we have only 3 options to go for. Because the reason why we only have 3 options, there's actually 5 routes you can take, but there's only 3 routes right now because you can only go for one of the routes. You can only go for these 3 routes because I think maybe the other 2 routes are too much spoilery, I would say, for the lore of the story. Because the thing is, every route has a different story and a different outcome in the universe, like not in the universe, in the world. So that's why we can only pick these 3 first. So there's actually 2 more that we can take, but we can't take yet. I'm not sure how we unlock it, probably just by completing this 3. But we're just gonna go for one route. And we're not gonna 100% the game. We're definitely not gonna 100% the game. So, but somebody in the comments said that they really wanted Karma. So we're gonna go for Karma, who is the guy who dresses as a woman. And there is a reason for that. So don't judge too much on why he dresses as a woman. So we're going for Karma. Alright. I find Karma sitting quietly at the bar. I thought he was the picture of elegance when I saw him at the toy shop, but he's really just conceited. I walked over to where he is. Oh, Princess Briar, you look stunning as always in your white clothing. He must be mocking me, but it does not matter. I'm here because I want you to teach me about goodness. 3 streams in 24 hours, workaholic much. I have to put in the streams before the relatives come, or else I won't have time to stream. So yeah, 3 streams in 24 hours. Not even a compliment in return. I'm rather offended. Relax, princess. I'm just teasing you. I noticed. How can you answer? Now can you answer my question? Princess, you do so wound me. This is going nowhere. Maybe I should ask someone else. Princess, wait. You made the right decision in coming to me for help, I assure you. The best people, princess, look beautiful. The way you look outside has to match what you have inside. How is that supposed to help me? Are you implying that I'm not beautiful? Of course not. I only suggest that you smile more often. Smiling will not help me accomplish a good deed. And smiling has nothing to do with beauty. Oh dear, I'm afraid that is not true at all. People who are beautiful smile all the time. Like myself. He's not helping at all. Don't give me that look, darling. A real smile lifts the heart and takes stress off the mind. And? Well, in order to do good, you must first change yourself. Make yourself more beautiful on the outside and the inside. I really don't know why I came to him for advice. But what did I expect from such a flamboyant man? He is as shallow as a puddle of water. I stare in horror at the floor. Gravel and sand are embedded between the floorboards. The wood beneath my feet is covered in a thick muck. Uh-oh. Oh no. Stop! I never thought I'd see this. The princess is actually sweeping. I'd say it's more like the broom is sweeping and the princess is just along for the ride. Lady Parfait, your orders have arrived. Where should I put them? At the back, please, thank you. I glare at Garland as he begins to move. You! You are dirtying the floor! Sorry. Garland dashes across the floor with long steps in an attempt to leave as few footprints as possible. This was Dolores' doing, wasn't it? Is it obvious? This has witch having fun written all over it. I need water. Wow, completely spotless. You are the worst. Don't be mad at the broom, princess. It is only trying to help. It is doing nothing but making my life miserable. Lady Parfait, I must speak with you. I look up at the witch that had just entered. She is a regular at the Marchand, and according to Parfait and Delora, a good witch. She orders tea from here from time to time. She has mud on her shoes. Why is she glaring at me like that? I believe it's because of your shoes, dear. I have just cleaned the floor. Oh, I'm sorry. I will clean up after myself right away. Good. The princess is something else. I've never seen a witch so frightened of someone before. Yeah. The witch hurriedly cleans up the tracks she made coming in before going to speak with Parfait. Even though Parfait says that Delora and this witch is good, I do not trust her judgment. Especially not when she considers Delora, who ruined my life, a good person. I put the broom back in its resting place before double-checking my work. Now that I am done, I can continue to work on breaking my curse. Whom should I ask for help today? Yeah, we're just gonna keep going for Karma. I find Karma sitting at one of the tables, looking out a window. You're being quiet today? What a rare sight. Oh, princess! Why would you be so surprised to see me? Because it is an honor every time you visit me. Have you come for my advice? I want you to tell me how to do a good deed. My, so straightforward. What is he talking about? It's really simple. You just do something without strings attached. Lol, what is going on? I'm reading out a visual novel, basically. So, to recap, basically this princess got cursed to do 3 good deeds, and everyone forgot her. So, yeah, so that's because, and it's difficult for her to do good deeds, because basically, she seems to have been abused her whole life. Well, not abused, well, I would say neglected, not really abused. Like, she's been neglected the whole life. At least show us your face. What do you mean? Wait, can you not see my model? What? No, you should be able to see. I'm confused now. Is something going on? Or are you just being funny? I think you're just being the funny. Because you can definitely see my model. No. You should check the stream right now. I am checking. I see the stream. Why? Why? What's wrong? I'm looking at the stream. It's live. I see my model. What's going on? Yeah, I'm pressing play. Wait. Let me talk to you. It's working though. On my screen, it's like zoomed in on the chat. I think you zoomed it in yourself. It's fine for me. Yeah. That made me freak out. Let me try to reopen the stream. Yeah, that is weird. Oh, okay. Wait, what was it? Okay, I'll continue reading first. No strings attached? Wait. I forgot to click into the game. Okay, there we go. Yes, you do something for someone without asking them to pay you back. It is hard to wrap my head around doing such a thing. Why would I do something without needing to? Have you done such a thing for someone before? Of course I have, Princess. There was a long pause. It was only a thoughtful one. Right. Is that all? I believe so. That tidbit of wisdom ought to serve you well. It was so weird the stream was zoomed in like that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. A month has passed and I have yet to complete even one good deed. Not for any lack of trying though. I have been asking around for advice on how to be a good person and received various answers. What makes someone good? I'd say being selfless. I think it's important that you consider another person's feelings. Patience. The ability to soothe even the most broken of hearts. Forget I asked. Bravery. Loyalty. You must be beautiful both on the inside and out. Right. Meanwhile, Phobia is like money and sport cars. Must I be all those things in order to be good? According to Parfait, I cannot just pretend. It has to come from my heart. I place my hand on my chest and consider the steady pulse of my heartbeat. That will not be easy. I close my eyes, thinking of all the possible ways I might be able to break my curse, but in the end, my mind is blank. Mother, what am I supposed to do? A dream. Your personal feelings are nothing but a weakness for others to exploit. That is why you do not show them. You only show them that you are strong. Yes, Mother. You must not let false kindness deceive you. People will use niceties to trick you into exploiting your weak emotions. But you can trust me, Briar. I will never hurt you. I will never lie to you. I am all you need. I love you, Briar. I love you too, Mother. How are those lessons of yours going? I hope you're not giving anyone a difficult time. I'm the only one having a difficult time. Have you tried pairing up with someone? Pairing up? Some of the people in a tavern pair up to assist each other. Two heads are better than one, as they say. It's not a bad idea, but the problem is with her. Who's going to volunteer to pair up with the Ice Princess? She has a point. People may not glare at me anymore, but it does not escape me that I am still disliked. Most of the boarders at the Marchand volunteered to help her, remember? And I haven't heard any of them retract their offers. It's only a matter of time. Stop it, Delora. It's your choice, Princess. Pairing up is only a suggestion. Would pairing up with someone really help me break my curse? What if they end up being an annoyance instead? Princess? Excuse me, Princess? I am sorry for disturbing you, but you've just been staring at your tray and the customer is waiting for his order. Of course. Phobia is like going after Delora, but we can't go after Delora. We're going after guys in this game. Delora has me helping Ennis today. Hello, welcome, Oren. Welcome. How was the election? The Marchand is unexpectedly busy, and they cannot keep up with all the customers. Stop daydreaming, Briar. Food doesn't deliver itself. I do not need you to tell me that. It's 2024, why can't we become gay? This game was not programmed that way, unfortunately. I stretch out on my bed. The stiff mattress does little to soothe my aching muscles. I was on my feet the entire day, struggling to keep up with the steady stream of people that came into the Marchand. I have seen the Marchand this busy. I roll onto my stomach and bury my face into my pillow. My arms and legs protest the movement. I refuse to live this type of life any longer. I need to break this curse as soon as possible. Why don't you pair up with someone? Pairing up might not be such a bad idea. Phobia is gonna mod the game to turn all the men into women. Okay, yeah, so these are the 5 characters, and we can only go for 3 because this 2 is locked. Because I think, like what I said earlier, is probably because of story spoilers. Like you can only do these 3 before you do these 2. So we're going for Karma, which is this guy here. Secret practices. I decide to go search for Karma as soon as I am done with Mr. Broom. Or as soon as it is done with me. He should be sitting at the bar or at the table. I find him at the usual table talking to Waltz, who has his hands on a box. Which is your type, Mare? I don't really have a type, but I remember liking this guy. And also, actually, this guy and I think the stepbrother is okay, but yeah. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, you guys are reacting to each other's profile pictures. I found him at the usual table, talking to Waltz, who has his hands on a box. Why, if it isn't the princess, lovely morning, isn't it? It is the same as any other. Nonsense! Every morning brings new opportunities, right, Waltz? I guess so. Every day there's another chance for a good deed, princess. Right. No clever comments today, princess. I do so enjoy them. Maybe coming to Karma was a bad idea. I would love to stay and offer advice, but Waltz and I better be off. We have work to do. You mean that you're going to put me to work? Work? Harfei asked us to pick up some provisions for the tavern. She asked us, but in the end, it will be me carrying everything. You make a lady carry everything? Karma suddenly stops and then whirls to look at me with his wide eyes. Oh! I cannot say that I like the glimmer in his eyes. How would you like to help, Princess Briar? I'm sure this would count as one of your good deeds. I'm pretty sure that's not how this works. Oh, Waltz, you're not fun. Helping Karma carry things does not sound pleasant, but I'll go. Truly? Oh my, Waltz, it seems I will not be requiring your assistance today. Princess, are you sure? Perhaps this might be considered good. Besides, I'll finally get to leave this place for the first time since I've been here. I'm sure. Okay, take good care of the princess, Karma. Of course. For the rest of the day, Karma takes me to different shops around the town, reading off a long list and giving me the coins to buy things. I notice that the townspeople treat me nicely when the two of us are together. I do not understand why everyone likes Miss Karma so much, but maybe it's because they do not really know him. We stop in the middle of town and sit at a small cafe on the outskirts to take a break. Miss Karma is still the picture of elegance. Why do you dress like a woman? Darling, not so loud. Why is this even a secret? It's related to my curse. I mentioned that before, didn't I? What was your curse again? Karma was one of the only people at the tavern who did not share what his curse was. Is knowing my curse even so important? You know what my curse is, so tell me what yours is. You dragged me around town to help me carry your things. But princess, those weren't even my things. They weren't mine either. Okay, I will tell you, though it is very sad. I do not think a curse is meant to be a happy thing. I have the beauty's curse. It is what forces people to fall in love with me every time they see my handsome face. Is that really a curse? That does not seem awful at all. Terrible, isn't it? It's terrible. Ugh. What? Most people don't agree with me. It does not make sense for a witch to cast a good curse on you. I guess it doesn't, does it? Thank you, Princess Briar. Why is he thanking me? Wow, beauty curse, so horrible. Still, it feels like I'm missing something. Is that really the entirety of his curse? But don't people fall in love with you when you are a woman as well? No, princess, that love is admiration or appreciation, sometimes lust. And when you're a man, they swarm to me like moths to light. It becomes suffocating. Whom does it affect? The curse only affects women. It is a condition of the curse that there be a woman and that I be a man. It is part of the fairy tale. Which fairy tale? The one with... Oh, major lag? Yeah, I think it's the... I forgot to change the latency, sorry. Karma suddenly stands up and points at a man selling red apple-like candies. He pulls me over, insisting that we try one. I try to bring up the subject of the curse again, but to no avail. Karma somehow manages to be distracted for the rest of the day and is able to effectively dodge my questions. Is Karma hiding something from me? Why would he? I thought pairing up meant helping each other break our curses. Does he not want to break his curse? Oh, thank you so much, Briar. We were in dire need of these supplies. I supervised her well, didn't I? Of course, dear. He did not do anything. Princess, you wound me. It's the truth. But we had that nice talk. You avoided half my questions. Karma lets out an exasperated sigh that becomes a very forced yawn. I'm going to bed. Today has been a tiring day. Please excuse me, darlings. Sleep well. Sleep well, Karma. Karma walks away, leaving me alone with Parfait. Alright, see you, Favir. Thank you for coming. He's not so bad, you know. I do not know why I agreed to work with him. Give him a chance, Briar. I did not get a single good deed today. It's not just about the act, but about the intentions. Did Karma just use me then? I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Tonight I will rethink my partnership. I barely sleep that night. When I wake up the next day, my body is sore from carrying supplies around town yesterday. The more I think about Karma, the more my anger boils inside of me. How could I not have gotten a good deed yesterday? I decide to find him first thing in the morning. I see him at his usual table, once again staring out the window. A dark aura seems to surround him, and I notice that no one is sitting with him today. Karma. He keeps staring outside, and his eyes are glassy. Karma! Oh, Princess, good morning! It is far from a good morning. I did not sleep at all last night. What a shame. His voice is surprisingly cold, his tone rather dismissive. I was too busy thinking about yesterday. You told me that helping you would maybe help me complete a good deed. I point at my necklace, which hasn't changed at all since I received it. Do you see? Not another piece. You get pieces added to your glass slipper. That's charming. I was thinking that pairing up with you was a bad idea. Princess, did you just say you were paired up with me? I did. You must have known. Oh my, I assumed that you just wanted to help me. I didn't know you were pairing up with anyone. That's right, I never told him directly I wanted to partner up. Should I have? Well, it does not matter what I say anymore, because I do not think you can help me. Princess, I can't help you do a good deed. You have to do them on your own. I can present you with opportunities, though. Opportunities. We first start by thawing the ice around your heart. So even Karma is calling me the Ice Princess. At least I speak my mind and don't pretend to be someone I'm not. And I do not promise things I cannot deliver either. Princess, I do believe you misinterpreted my words yesterday. That's not my fault. Patience is a virtue. Now, if you could, I would like some time alone. I did not sleep well yesterday. Didn't sleep well? Oh dear, that makes all three of us. I turn around and see Rumple appear at the door. He strides towards the table with a confident grin on his face, and then takes another seat. Karma lets out a sigh. Foul man, what are you doing here? You flirt with a man once and he hates you, is that it? No, you flirt with a man and then you insult him unnecessarily. Oh, I thought that was all in good fun. Something about the expression on Rumple's face tells me that it's not true at all. Are they always going to be at each other's throats now? What are you doing here, Rumple? I couldn't help but overhear that you were looking for a partner, Princess. I thought I might offer my assistance since I know I can make you far happier than this fool over here. Would you like me to hit you again? What is the problem, sir? I only came to provide assistance where you could not. Rumple turns to me, grabs my hand, and winks at me. What do you say, princess? We could be wonderful partners, and in no time at all, I swear I would have your heart aflutter. Before I can slap his hand away, Karma slaps him instead. I cannot help the surprise on my face. Would you like another slap? I'm in no mood for pleasantries today. I do not know how I ever mistook you for a lady. You're the most brutish man here. A slap for each cheek, darling. Would you like a third? Rumple stands abruptly from the table and glares at Karma. I can almost see electricity bouncing between the two of them as they stare over my head at each other. I see Jurian walking towards us with a stern look on her face. I would never hurt a person unnecessarily. I don't resort to violence. Then that gives me all the openings I need. I don't know. Wait, let me save. I feel like we should stand up for him. But I don't know if that's the right answer, because when I have the right answer, there's like a thing at the top. I feel like we should stand up for him, but I feel like slapping him is like on his side, but I feel like I should stand up for him. No matter how annoying Rumple is, I don't think he deserves to be abused so much. Besides, Karma does not usually lash out like this. I move to stand in front of Rumple. Princess? This is pathetic, Karma. I know you're not in the mood for pleasantries, but that is no excuse to hurt Rumple. Princess, please move. You are acting like a petulant child. Fine, you're right. I wasn't expecting him to so easily admit to a mistake. I turned to Rumple. I was only standing up for you, Rumple, because Karma is annoying me. I looked down at my necklace, but there is no extra piece, so that wasn't a good deed either. Alright, what's happening over here? Jurian comes to stand in front of us, her expression stern. Oh, nothing, my sweet. I was just showing myself out. Thank you, Princess Briar. Rumple leaves and I am alone with Karma. He slumps back down into his chair. After making sure that he won't do anything rash again, Jurian leaves us. Oh, I did do the right thing. I'm sorry, Princess. It appears I really was being a child. Rumple is harmless and there was no reason for me to act as uncivilized as I did. What would Father think? Father? Oh, it's nothing. But please, if you would, can you give me some time alone? Fine. I leave Karma sitting there by himself and return to the front of the tavern, where Anise has more tours waiting for me. Today I have to work as a server, which is better than working with Mr. Broom. Hello, welcome Roblox videos. If you want me to call you that. The usual people are at the tavern, and I overhear conversations as I work. At one point, Garland walks over to the bar and Anise serves him a drink. He looks sullen, and I watch him curiously for a few moments. Then I notice that he's staring at Jurian, who is talking sternly to two drunken men continuously clacking their bottles together at the table. If you make too much of a scene here, you're gonna bother the other customers. But the same people are here all the time, eh? We're not bothering anyone, hun? Garland looks so agitated. What's wrong with him? I will not stand to have you call me that again. Loosen up, woman. You may have been a knight at the palace before, but you got no such title now. Garland stands up and I can see silent anger in his eyes. A few people at the bar had looked at him with worry. I may have no title, but I still demand respect. Sir Garland, are you okay? He looks back at us almost like he's coming out of a trance. I'm fine, sorry about that, ladies. He sits back down, glancing once more at Jurian as she continues speaking to the men. They glance at Garland wearily, their expressions more somber. Why was he acting that way? Garland's usually more composed. Princess, is something on your mind? No. I brush all thoughts of what just transpired from my mind as I return to my work. Hours go by and my body protests to all of the leaning I have to do. Even though I had to carry a lot around town yesterday, it was nice to be out for a while. Maybe I am better off helping him just to avoid the chores in here. At least that stops me from being worked to the bone. Oh, Princess, you're doing very well today. I always perform like this. But today you're delivering everything really quickly. Do you mean to say that I don't perform well on other days? No, Princess, I only mean to say that today your performance is even better than normal. Is that supposed to be a compliment? I walk away from 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒄, who stares after me sadly. If she wanted to give me a compliment, she could have said something that wasn't so backhanded. As the tavern clears for the day, I finally have time to sit down and relax. As I am sitting there, Waltz pulls up a chair and sits in front of me. Hello, Princess. I heard from 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒄 you were excellent at your job today. Congratulations on improving. Princess? So you're mocking me now too? Princess, I think you're taking things too seriously. The intention of a compliment is to, well, compliment someone. We're not making fun of you. You're implying that I'm not normally as good at this. We never said you weren't good at this, only that you were better today. Let me give you an example. I put on puppet shows for kids. Sometimes the children come to me and say that the show was even better than usual. So the children are telling you that your shows aren't normally satisfactory. Not at all. The children always smile, regardless of whether they like the show. So as long as you're trying your best, that's all that matters. The people in the bar are always smiling when you deliver food to them, aren't they? No, no one likes me here. Maybe if you smiled, they would smile back. I'm not going to smile for any of them. I do not owe them anything. You don't need to owe anyone a smile. Any smile that isn't owed is fake. Princess, I'm leaving, Waltz. I want some time to myself. I walk upstairs to my bedroom, pointedly ignoring the look of sadness on Walt's face. I've been sleeplessly laying on my bed for hours. Sometimes I hear the sounds of people walking through the hallway. Who would be up at this time of night? I need to leave and get some fresh air. It is eerily quiet at night. I stop when I hear faint sounds coming from outside. What is that? We go outside. Well, I did say I needed some fresh air, no point in backing out now. I walk to the front door. Princess. I turn around and see Delora looking at me with amusement flickering in her eyes. Princess, what are you doing? Getting some fresh air. It's dangerous out at night, you know. You can't keep me up inside like some caged bird. I didn't say you had to stay inside. I said it was dangerous. You might need to get your ears checked. Then there won't be any problem with me going out right now. Princess, you only hear what you want to hear. You can't go outside without an escort. I'm not going to go far. Before Delora can stop me, I walk out the front door and head in the direction of the sounds. You must be the most disobedient princess I've ever met. And you must be the most annoying witch. Delora lets out an undignified snort as she catches up to me. Fine then, we'll go on this little night stroll together. Delora and I eventually find ourselves in the forest. Those sounds, it sounds like metal against metal. Well, I guess with you being partnered with Karma, you would find out eventually. Excuse me? I get the answer to my question when we walk through the trees and come into a clearing. I finally see where the sounds are coming from. Two men stand in the clearing, swords clashing. One of the men is Garland, who is poised with his sword. It takes me a moment to realize that the other is Karma, who isn't in a dress. So it was he who was with Waltz that night. Neither he nor Garland noticed us at first. Princess, you're staring. Of course I am. What is all of this? A practice session. Karma is a very talented swordsman, and he practices at night with either Jurian or Garland, depending on who's not on patrol. Karma can use a sword that well. The king told me once that only knights could have such skill. Just who is Karma? Oh, if it isn't the princess. His voice is nothing like the feminine voice I always hear from him. Karma actually sounds like a man. I notice him looking at me in between his strikes with a little smile. How does he remain so composed and steady with his distraction? Princess? Karma quickly finds an opening in Garland's hesitant stance and then pins him to the ground with his sword, still smiling. To be distracted is to die, Garland. I know. The ability to see distractions and then put them in the back of your mind is one every knight should hone. You must know everything that is happening around you, but only deal with the pertinent things. Yes, sir. Karma straightens, sword in hand. Moments later, Garland stumbles to his feet and gives an obedient bow. Karma nods at him before sheathing his sword. A slow melancholy begins to creep into my heart. For some reason, seeing this sword practice makes me nostalgic, though I'm not sure why. What are you practicing for? To protect, princess. Knowing the sword is the same as knowing the shield. It's a mean to protect. To protect. I think I remember having this kind of conversation with them before. I can never figure out how to counter an opponent when they're mere inches from my face. My commander called that one the enemy's kiss, a standoff where your eyes locked onto your opponents because of the proximity. The best way to counter that is to feint the sword in the opposite direction. It throws your opponent off because they're not looking. Oh, that makes sense, but the enemy's kiss, what a name. It seems so dramatic for a sword move, doesn't it? Swordplay is dramatic though, isn't it? Isn't the most effective swordplay not meant to be flashy? Princess, I didn't notice you there. Good morning, Princess. Well, the most effective swordplay cannot be predicted. The commander says it needs to be robust and quick. Sometimes swordplay can look like dancing though, which is why some think professionals are flashy. That seems unnecessary. Everyone has their own methods, their own skills. All of us knights fight for different reasons as well. Isn't it to protect all of us in the palace? Well, yes, but we protect everyone in the castle for different reasons, Princess. The knights protect for different reasons. I turn to Karma. But Karma, you are not a knight. No, I am most definitely not. But since Garland and Julian begged me to teach them, I have somehow become their mentor. There is no way Garland and Julian would do that. After all, the both of them... Hold on. I need to clear my throat. After all, the both of them were the best knights in Angeal before they were stripped of their titles. Karma actually speaks the truth. Julian and I really did have to get down on our knees and beg for him to instruct us. What? Is Karma really so talented? So you're finally impressed with me. What do you think, Princess? I am the picture of elegance in this outfit, aren't I? You know, I do not know why you and Rumpel fight so often. You really are very similar. Don't compare me to that fool. He has no class. Just because you come from different backgrounds doesn't mean he has less class. So the reason you were so tired today is because you do these practices at night. Oh, I suppose I've been caught red-handed. Why does this have to be a secret? Does it have to do with Karma's curse? But he is not in his disguise now. We could have been working on breaking our curses today. But no, you decided that staying up late into the night and practicing was more important. That was probably why you were grumpy this morning. Well, our protection is vital, don't you think? Garland, you were at the palace. How is it that Karma possesses more skill with the sword than you? Princess. Karma is special, Princess. He's more talented with the sword than a lot of other people. And I do pride myself on being a splendid instructor. But never fear, Princess. I will help you dispel your curse. After all, you did suggest that we were still partners. Can he really help me with my curse? But how will he do that just by presenting opportunities? We'll try again tomorrow, darling. But for now, Garland and I have some more work to do. This time, Garland, do not lose focus. Yes, sir. The sound of swords carries through the night, and for a long while, I stand with Delora watching the two men fight. Karma chides Garland often, telling him that his concentration is waning. Karma is a good swordsman, perhaps even better than the palace knights. His nimble swordplay repeats again and again in my head, even when I return to the tavern for the night. Briar, I've told you before that the knights are an unruly bunch. But mother, they are so much fun to watch. They are dangerous, Briar. Any person with a sword has the potential to use it on you. But father says those knights are supposed to protect me. They are, as that is their order. But as people, they may not be so good, Briar. Not so good. King has told you that the knights are meant to use swords to protect you, but you cannot trust them completely. Even though father said they would keep me safe. Sometimes the people we trust are the most deceitful, and a man with a sword has a weapon to use against you. No matter what he says, be wary that he can turn on you. Haven't I told you before that you should not trust people? But the knights are... Even knights can be treacherous, Briar. Do not trust a man with a sword. He can be dangerous. Yes, mother, I understand. Try to understand, my sweet. I only want you to be safe. Yes, I understand. Julian, if you don't come at me like you truly mean to stab me, you'll never land a hit. Yes, ma'am. Sir. It has been about 2 weeks since I first saw 𝒂𝒎 here in the forest practicing in Garland. I have come here every night since then, though I never stay as long as 𝒂𝒎, since I actually have work to do in the mornings. Alright, here I come. Their two swords clash and 𝒂𝒎 laughs as he throws Julian back and taps her lightly on the shoulder with his sword. That makes 4 hits, and that one was easy. Is that the best you can do, Julian? I noticed that every time 𝒂𝒎 practices with Julian, he's in his Miss 𝒂𝒎 disguise. He says it is because of the curse and because he does not want Julian to fall in love with him. Isn't he being overdramatic? I doubt someone like Julian could fall in love with 𝒂𝒎. He's subtle and quiet. Garland tells me you're usually good at that. I am, sir. Then why the exception today? Sir. Darling, it wouldn't happen to be because of the way I'm dressed, would it? Are you still not used to it? Hit the nail on the head, have I? It's not very chivalrous to hurt a lady, of course, but that logic applies to men as well. An enemy is an enemy, Julian, even if your enemy is a delicate flower like myself. Delicate flower. Julian, you should hit him on the head for that. But Princess, he's not delicate at all. Julian laughs and I scowl at her. Is she laughing at me? You and 𝒂𝒎 seem to get along. I doubt it. Oh, Princess, you wound me. You always say that. You wound me where Julian's blade cannot. Something flashes in Julian's eyes as she readies her sword again. 𝒂𝒎 stands ready as Julian rushes at him with her sword. Their swords clash again. I wonder. 𝒂𝒎, your back's open. 𝒂𝒎 turns. Julian taps him on the shoulder and laughs aloud. I did it. The single hit. It looks like you have a weakness too, 𝒂𝒎. No, it wasn't a weakness. It was the lack of sleep catching up on me. Why did he listen to me? He told Garland the other day that it was crucial to only listen and watch the most important things. Alright, practice is over for now. I can see Garland coming for his practice. 𝒂𝒎 walks to a corner to have a drink. I should probably head back to the tavern soon, but there's something I want to see first. On her way out, Julian gives a solemn nod to Garland. She pauses to say something to him and then looks at me, noticing my vague curiosity. I was just mentioning what a good swordsman 𝒂𝒎 is. I have seen him fight and 𝒂𝒎 is a good swordsman, there's no doubt about it, yet is practicing with him really so special? He is fast on his feet and quick with his reactions. He's an excellent person to train under, even better than most of the commanders in the palace. I can second to that. Even better than Ross, remember him? The first commander we trained under, the one that punished slow learning with extra exercises. You always had to do more exercises than I did, something about you all being distracted. I was watching the way you swung your sword to make sure you didn't hurt yourself. You've always been overprotective. Well, They both suddenly stop to look at 𝒂𝒎, who is smiling slyly on the side. Why does he have that look on his face? Well, that's a sign we can't keep the commander waiting. Garland shakes his head, his expression snapping back into something more serious. Right. The two exchange quick farewells before Julian waves and steps out of the clearing, leaving Garland with 𝒂𝒎. You're in a dress today. Are you two really so opposed to hurting me when I'm in a dress? Or are you worried about ruining it? No. It's just so strange you move so well even in a long dress. But yes, Julian did mention almost stepping on it once. Impossible, I am the picture of elegance. Of course so. 𝒂𝒎 shrugs Garland's comments off. The two ready their swords then get right into practice. Julian has taken over Garland's patrol now, so that Garland can get in some practice time. So Garland, have you told Julian yet? No. The conversation that 𝒂𝒎 always has with Garland is the real reason I stay behind to watch them practice. I don't understand why Garland answers 𝒂𝒎's question, if doing so makes him so depressed. Will you ever say anything to her, Garland? Why don't you just confess to her already? Karma lands an easy hit on Garland, who sighs in response. Whenever Garland thinks about Julian, he gets distracted. I do not understand his feelings at all, but seeing him remain quiet frustrates me. Julian is talented and poised. I could never be good enough for her. You'll never win a woman's heart if you don't compliment her looks as well, Garland. Well, she's pretty too, beautiful, and then there's me. Aren't they both knights? Haven't they been training together for a long time? Just say something to her. Well, all you ever do is talk about her. Even Karma says your concentration is lacking because she is always on your mind. So just tell her, if she does not like you back, then that's it. If she doesn't like me back. Confessions are hard, princess, very tedious. You are only saying that because you're dramatic about everything. The very nature of love is dramatic, darling. But enough idle chatter, sir. Let us continue our training. I end up staying longer than I intended. By the time I considered returning to the tavern, Garland and Karma are wrapping up for the night. I have a question for Karma, so I wait until Garland leaves before I approach him. You're still here, princess. Were you seeking out alone time with me by chance? I have enough of that every day when we run errands. I just have a question for you. You always come to the right person. What can I do for you, Princess Briar? You ask Garland the same question every time you train, and he always tells you that he cannot confess. Karma nods in acknowledgement, but his attention is on his sword. He inspects it carefully before sheathing it. It frustrates me. You're frustrated? That look of his always annoys me. Oh my, it is annoying. Did you want to ask me why he won't confess because you're so frustrated? Yes. I suppose after almost 2 months I do know you a bit better. You do not know anything about me. And I do not know anything about Karma either. Confessing isn't easy, dear Briar. Surely you must realize that the possibility of rejection is a significant deterrent. But if you never ask, you never get an answer, and the stress of worrying stays with you and ruins everything. Why are you staring at me? Is that the reason you're so blunt, Princess? Blunt? You are far more blunt than I am. Princess Briar, you truly are amusing. You're as sharp as a knight's blade. I'm not amusing. That is a matter of opinion, darling. He really is insufferable. And yet I still come to him for advice. The scariest part of a confession is the possibility of rejection. Can you imagine loving someone and then finding out that they don't feel the same way about you? My thoughts shift to the king. My chest tightens. Princess Briar? Karma reaches out a hand to brush a strand of hair out of my face. I slap it away without realizing. He pulls his hand back with a gentle sigh. My apologies, Princess. No, I cannot imagine. No? Loving someone and finding out they do not feel the same way? I always knew my father never loved me. My understanding is different from what Karma is referring to. Besides, I no longer hold any love in my heart for the king. I have already given up hope on him. Right? It is a good thing you haven't experienced a rejected love, Princess. It is one of the worst feelings. Karma asked to be alone, so I returned to the tavern by myself that night. Big stretch. Big stretch. I do not know why I agreed to this when nothing changes. Today I am once again out in town with Karma, running errands. Since we've been partners, he insists on me coming with him every day. Why do you need a new dress? Because a lady needs all kinds of dresses in her closet. Variety is key when you want to make a good impression. Why would you want to make a good impression on people in a disguise? A disguise is meant to conceal you. It does not exist to be flaunted. Oh no, darling. I only wear the disguise to stop the curse from working on people. It's not really meant to conceal anything but the fact I am a man. Being doted on by a married woman or by a woman in love with another man is especially troubling. Is the curse really that powerful? Karma leads me over to the dress store and our conversation pauses when he goes to the store owner to give specifications for a new dress. When we leave, Karma suggests going someplace to reward me for all my hard work. You're treating me. Why wouldn't I, darling? You've been helping me for a while now. What is this feeling? Gratitude? Karma does owe me for everything that I've done for him, so why do I feel like this? You know, it would be much easier for you to just help me carry bags. Oh, there, let's buy one of those cupcakes. Karma cuts through my suggestion easily. Does he really dislike work so much he'd rather pay me off for helping him? Karma takes me to a stand showcasing all kinds of cupcakes. There are some with colored frosting, others with fancy decorations. Some are especially eye-catching, like a bright blue cupcake decorated with little stars. Anything catch your fancy, ladies? All of them, actually. Alas, I do not think eating them all would do well for my diet. What do you think, Princess? We'll share one. I turn back to the cupcakes, which I realized are big enough to share between 2 people. Am I choosing one for myself or one that Karma would like? I guess he is treating me, but 2 cupcakes catch my eyes. One has a tiny little creature sitting on the top of the frosting. It reminds me to be a little lizard of sorts. Though it is strange, the colors remind me of Karma's dress. The other cupcake is decorated with little white chocolate pearls. Those pearls are small and somehow cute, but Karma might like the other cupcake. So it's between these 2. Which one would you like, Briar? The lizard. I'll have that one. The one with the... Oh my, is that a chameleon? A chameleon? It is a chameleon. Oh, that's adorable. Sir, we'll take one of those. I was thinking he'd like it for the colors, not the chameleon, whatever that is. Let's go enjoy this somewhere else, shall we? Karma leads me to the middle of the plaza, and the 2 of us find a table. He walks up to get a fork and a knife before returning and handing a set to me. Do we really need a knife and a fork to eat a cupcake? So before we got your dress, you distracted me with cupcakes. We were talking about your curse. Were we? It's not an interesting topic. I was glad that we had gotten off that tangent, to be honest. Why don't you want to talk about it? You have your secrets, just as I do, Princess. But the whole point of pairing up is to help each other with our curses. Princess, you want to help me. Only because it is necessary that I help him so he can help me. I haven't made any progress helping you, though. You said you would provide me with opportunities. I'm not very good at that, am I? I'm sorry, Princess. Well, I don't think I've done anything for you either. But Princess, you've been helping me for the last few weeks. Whether or not it is an obligation, you still are good company. Good company? No one has ever told me that before. They only chide me for being difficult to speak with. Karma starts cutting the cupcake, his knife sliding through the frosting and cake with ease. I've definitely never seen such refined manners for a simple dessert. What was your life like before the curse, Princess? I have no need to tell you any of that. No, it's not necessary, but I am curious. Would I be doing a good deed in telling him? I don't think so. How about we trade off a fact for a fact? You give me a story today and I'll give you one tomorrow. What makes you think I am interested in your life? Well, you do keep asking me about my curse. Only because we are working on breaking our curses. Okay then, we won't talk about the past or any secrets. We can talk about this cupcake instead. What? Why does he always insist on changing the topic? Karma cuts the chameleon on top in half. I notice that he gives himself the head, which is a lot cuter, while I get stuck with the tail. Chameleons are little lizards that can blend into their surroundings. Is he willing to go this far to avoid the subject? When I was a child, my father used to call me a chameleon. What? I hid a lot to avoid responsibilities. Oftentimes, no one could find me, not my father nor the servants. If he had servants, that makes him a noble. One day, I was out searching for a mythical creature in our garden, and I came upon the chameleon. It was a small, silly little lizard, but I'd only found it because I was looking for something fantastic. The lizard on the cupcake does not seem all that fantastic. My father explained what it was to me, and then he started calling me his silly little chameleon. It was ridiculous, but he said I was always very good at hiding, and so it suited me. What is it, Princess? It seems like you are still good at hiding. You hide behind your disguise and keep many secrets. I suppose I am still a chameleon then. I do not think that nickname makes any sense. Sometimes they don't have to. Nicknames don't have to make sense to be endearing, Princess. Can we please get back to the subject at hand? Yes, this cupcake. If you insist on sharing a story for a story, then I will tell you something about me. Oh? You didn't seem the type to want to share. I normally do not see any reason for sharing things about my past, no. Mother once told me that to confide in someone else was a weakness. But more than that, I was always worried that others would judge me. No one has ever wanted to listen to me. I know enough about others' opinions of me to know that they think I am the one at fault. Always. I wouldn't judge you, princess. I mean, I wouldn't judge you for not wanting to say anything to me. I divulged nothing to you after all. A story for a story. That is the deal, right? I expect you to keep to it. Or rather, a fact for a fact. It's not like I have to tell him everything, just something about myself. I will tell you about my life at the palace. It's not as if it's a secret, though I doubt Karma would understand. Ever since Mother died, the palace has been a cold place. Quite a surprise. Is it because you see Emmeline and Rod and assume you are one big happy family? I do have to admit that Princess Emmeline seems quite gentle. Prince Rod is quiet, but he seems like an honorable man. When I saw you and the princess at the dress store, Princess Emmeline seemed very nice, is she not? Her kindness is fragile at best. She tries far too hard for it to be genuine. Her insistence is irritating. I have never wanted to be friends with her. The king took a second wife after my mother died, as if she never mattered to him. Karma is silent and I continue to talk, my emotions loosening my tongue. I had meant to stop there, but the words keep coming. The only one who ever showed me any affection in the palace was Mother. The king never paid much attention to me in the first place, but he treats Rod and Emmeline far better than he had ever treated me. What was your mother like? All my fondest memories are of her. She was always with me in the palace, teaching me right from wrong. She taught me how not to show weakness, who to speak with. Who to speak with? Needless conversation is useless. People are often very likely to lead you astray. That was the reason I never saw any reason to speak with the townsfolk. Will you judge me as everyone else does? No, princess, I'm not judging you. I'm just a little sad. Sad? Why would he be sad? It sounds like you lived an empty life. It was not an empty life. But it sounds as if your mother separated you from everyone. It wasn't as if the townsfolk would have accepted me anyway. Mother said they were not to be trusted. Princess, about your mother. I will not hear you speak ill of Mother. No, I only had a question about your mother. Karma coughs and I pause to stare at him as he clears his throat. What is it? This. Oh gods. I hear the change immediately. His voice is lower, far lower. The soft gentleness is gone. Karma puts a hand to his throat and grumbles. Karma's voice is teetering on the edge of sounding unmistakably male. I've always wondered how he's able to change his voice, but I always forget to ask him about it. What happened to your voice? Oh, it's Miss Karma. I turn to see a young market girl approaching us. She looks at Karma adoringly. I've always wanted to speak with you, Miss Karma, ever since you complimented my dress that one time in the dress store. Your dress is lovely today as always, Miss Karma. Karma? Miss Karma, are you okay? I am quite fine. I cannot help but giggle as the girl takes a step back, looking shocked at Karma's now deep voice. Karma curses again in his deep voice, before forcing a bright smile on his face. Excuse me, I'm feeling under the weather. I notice as he's trying to change the pitch of his voice, but the highness is only annoying rather than soothing now. Oh, I'm sorry. Karma turns to me urgently, but I'm too amused to offer any sort of assistance. What is it, Miss Karma? Karma's smile is forced and his eyes are glaring at me. I laugh once again, not being able to help myself. His expression softens, but only slightly. I want to tease him, but I don't think that's the good thing to do. I'll tease him, see how that goes. He obviously wants to leave, but I cannot help myself. Miss Karma, I do wish you would say something. At the very least, you should thank this girl for her compliment. Oh no, it's quite alright. Come on, Miss Karma, you're usually the most charming person on these streets. Thank you. He sounds like he's only dying now. I cannot help but start laughing again. The small annoyance on Karma's face seems to dissipate completely. Leaving. He takes my hand and curtsies politely to the girl as he pulls me away. Karma, you sound sick. It's run out. Run out. The potion that Parfait makes for me. I must have talked too much. You talk too much? Karma puts a finger to his lips as we stroll through town. He shakes his head, making it clear that he won't speak to me until later. When we arrive at the tavern, it is already dark. Karma pauses and turns to look at me. What? You have a nice smile, Princess Briar. I'm glad I could make you laugh. Well, of course I laughed. You sounded ridiculous. It's Wilf sounding ridiculous just to see you smile. You and Rumpel really are the same. The comment doesn't faze him. He smiles widely as he leaves for his room. I'm glad I could make you laugh. I cannot get those words out of my head, even though I'm supposed to be resting for the night. I think I should go see if Karma is practicing with Julian or Garland. I leave my room and go down to the reception room. Delora and Parfait let me go to the forest at night alone now, since they know that I am meeting up with Karma. Parfait is in the reception room tonight, reading a book. I was always told reading in the dark was bad for your eyes. Oh, Princess, I didn't see you. I noticed that she's closed the book and I can now read the cover. She is reading Cinderella, that is my fairy tale curse. The Great War was caused by the fairy tales, right? Yes, that's right. And yet you are reading one. The curses are based off these fairy tales after all. But why are you reading Cinderella? My curse isn't anything like the fairy tale. It's reversed. True, but the morals remain the same. In order to become Cinderella, you must be good like her. Cinderella had everything handed to her by a fairy godmother. I had everything taken away. Princess, have you truly had everything taken away from you? Compared to what I used to have, what I have now might as well be nothing. You have friendships and people who enjoy your company. No one in this tavern enjoys my company. Are you sure about that, Princess? I think you just have difficulty trusting that we all like you. Like me? Why would you like me? You've become like family here. I haven't even been here that long. It doesn't matter. Everyone here at the Marchand is family. Family? You are saying that everyone at the Marchand is like family. Princess, you're one of my boarders. You're more than just a regular here. You live here with us. So like I said, you're family. I speak more with the people here than I have ever spoken to my own family. In the palace, I was always alone. The only person I could speak with was Fritz. Are you going to watch Karma practice? A nodding response. Be safe, Princess. As I head to the door, I recall what happened earlier today. Parfait, what is this potion you make for Karma? You mean the potion I make to change his voice? He begged me to help him when he first designed his disguise. Karma makes a beautiful woman, but he didn't think the illusion was complete without a convincing voice. You know how picky he is. Something else on your mind, Princess? Karma hides his curse, but you must know the conditions for breaking it, don't you? Parfait does not answer. Or are you keeping it a secret too? Princess Briar, not everyone likes to talk about their curse. I think it would be better if you asked Karma directly. I don't understand why he won't tell me everything when I am just trying to help him. Just as you think your good deeds are difficult, there's also something about Karma's curse that he can't come to terms with. I put my hand to the necklace around my neck. I still haven't performed any good deeds. Can I really do this? I'm going now. I walk out the front door and into the forest. I decide not to think about all of this, at least not until later. I wish this was all simpler, and that Karma wasn't cloaked in so many secrets. Mother, I went to town today. Oh, I told you not to go into town. Did your father take you? He told me that it would be fun. And was it? No, everyone looked really angry at me, but I don't know why. I've told you before, haven't I, dearest one? The townsfolk are jealous of you. Jealous? They're bitter about their lot in life, and because of that they will seek to use you for your status. You cannot trust them, Briar. You cannot trust anyone but me. Trusting others will only lead to heartbreak, Briar. You need only trust me because I will never hurt you. Okay, chapter 5. I need hydration. I need hydration. I wonder how many chapters are there. I don't remember. I have been at the Marchand for a couple months now, and I still haven't managed to do a single good deed. Yeah, that is true. She has not done one. Otherwise, the story would be moving on, I think. Today, I went out to town with Waltz to buy ingredients for parfait. The two of us have both been very quiet, which is uncharacteristic for Waltz. Princess, what? Did Karma explain why he wasn't coming with you today? Princess, does Waltz not like my company? Is that why he is asking why he had to fill in for Karma? He said he was tired. Oh. Waltz turns his head, his eyebrows furrowing in confusion. The town feels different today. It does. I feel as if there are people watching us. How can you tell? With practice, I have a lot of eyes on me when I'm doing my puppet shows after all. Even before then, I was used to being watched, I guess. Before you were cursed. Why? Well, I was more conspicuous as an adult, I guess. An adult, oh right. You have the Neverland curse. You remember? Yes, I have the Neverland curse. I told you what that was in the tavern once. You are stuck as a child when you should be a man. Right, it's a little inconvenient, but I've gotten used to it. Waltz is so much more straightforward about his curse than Karma. The two of us go into a store, where we find little cups that Parfait asks us to buy. After I pay, Waltz automatically picks up the bags. His help is nice for a change. I've become so accustomed to carrying the bags on my own. So have you made any progress on your good deeds? You can see from my necklace that I have not. But you have changed. I still don't see how I've changed at all. Karma hasn't taught me anything about doing good. Sometimes in order to do good, you need to realize some things about yourself first. Maybe Karma's not so bad at helping you with that. He is selfish, flamboyant, and acts as if the world revolves around him. But you're still partnered with him. I am. I'm okay with Karma's company. Most of the people judge and shun me. But Karma hasn't done that, and he's even mentioned enjoying my company. I have become more tolerant of him too. Oh, Princess. Walt's eyes light up, and I see him pointing ahead to a crowd of people gathered around the center of the town. A woman stands in the middle of the crowd, telling people's fortunes. We should go see if we can get our fortunes told. Come on. The crowd around the woman only grows larger until nearly half of the plaza has been taken up. I find myself pushed around in the crowd as I try to follow Waltz. The crowd is dense though, and in no time at all I have lost him. Waltz! I call for him, but I do not see him over the dozens of people in front of me. I will wait for him at the outskirts of the crowd. He should be able to find me. I make my way out of the crowd and to the edges of an alleyway. But Waltz still does not appear. 10 minutes go by and I consider walking back into the crowd when I hear a voice behind me. Are you looking for someone, madame? I feel someone grab my hand. I slap them away and take a step back. When I turn, I find a man standing behind me in the alleyway. I didn't mean to startle you. What do you want? I want to help you return to the palace, Princess Briar. You know who I am. I do, Princess, and I can lead you back to the palace. Who are you? Someone who's working for the king. But the king does not remember me. The only people that will remember me are witches, fairies, and those with the curse. So who exactly is this man? You're lying. Princess, why would I ever lie to you? Now come, I'm sure everyone at the palace would be very happy to see you. The man grabs my hand roughly and begins trying to pull me through the alleyway. The first thing I try to do is scream. Whoops! But the man clamps his free hand over my mouth. The crowd is getting further from us, and no one can see us in the shadows. Princess, I swear on my word I'm bringing you back to the palace. Wait for an opening. He'll be expecting me to fight back. I have to hold my ground until there's an opening. What would Urian and Garland do in this situation? Nice and obedient, yeah? Better that way. After all, I'm not a bad guy. The man walks me down the alleyway, his hold on me still tight. I am forced to walk with him until we get to a dead end. Now where was that passageway he was talking about? Now's my chance. What is this I see before me? I look up and see Karma standing on the rooftop right above us in his disguise, holding a sword, a broad grin on his face. Madame, you might hurt yourself playing with that sword. You might want to put it down. What is this, sir? Do you feel threatened by me? You should. Karma jumps down from the building and raises his sword in front of him. His eyes are angry, his earlier jovial personality fallen away. Anyone that attacks a lady has to pay for the crime. Karma rushes forward, moving faster than I can see. Even in his long dress, the glint of the sword causes the man to fall backwards, loosening his grip on me. I step back from the man's hold and watch as Karma points his sword at the man's neck. Now I have a sword and you do not. Do you really want to test your luck, sir? This isn't worth it. The man runs off, leaving me alone with Karma in the alley. What's this? You were a lot cockier just a few moments ago. I breathe out slowly as relief washes over me. Princess, Waltz approaches from where the man had run. So, did you meet the coward fellow on your way here? I bumped into a man who looked as if he was running from death. Oh my, I feel oddly accomplished. Karma and Waltz's voices become faded and indistinct as my vision blurs. I am suddenly light on my feet. All the adrenaline from earlier has dissipated into thin air. I feel tired. Princess. Did I pick the wrong thing? Now I want to load and see if I picked the right thing. Yes, I will load. Just fight back. Okay, so this was the right one. So basically we fight back and then everything else is still the same, I think. Okay, before I can collapse, I feel arms pulling me back up. Rest easy, Princess Briar. I close my eyes and fall into blackness. When I wake up, 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 is setting a tray of food down on my bedside table. She does not notice as I rise slowly from bed. 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎𝒊𝒕𔔔. Oh, Princess, you're up. We were worried about you. Lady Delora and Lady Parfait said you were just out because of shock. But still, how long have I been asleep? Hold on. I'm getting a call. Oh, whoops, wrong screen. Sorry, my dog wanted to come in. Just a few hours, Princess. Don't worry about chores for now. Lady Delora says that if you're feeling better later, you can use Mr. Broom. Just thinking about using Mr. Broom gives me a headache. Where are Karma and Waltz? Waltz is scouting the town looking for the man that captured you. And Karma? I think he might be in his room, Princess. He's got patrol tonight, so he's resting a little bit. If he has patrol tonight, that must mean he was resting this morning too. How did he know I needed help? Do you need anything, Princess? No, I'm going to visit Karma. What? To thank him. However, he knew if Karma hadn't been there, things would not have ended so well. Yes. That's sweet, Princess. Oh, Lady Delora wants to talk to you about what happened when you're feeling up to it. Okay. I wait until 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎𝒊𝒕𔔔 leaves the room before I follow after her. Now I'm thinking that there was one... Wait, let me just say it real quick. There was one place where I didn't get the little gem. I think it was going outside and whatnot. Let me just try and see if there's like... if there's anything. Let me just see if... Yeah, that was the... I missed that one. Okay. So basically we go outside anyway. So let's skip through all this real quick. Alright, just say something to skip it. Oh wait, what? That one didn't have a... Okay, now I'm annoyed. This one. Oh wait, I overwrote it. I'm an idiot. I overwrote the save. Stand up for him. Remain inside. I can see why you wouldn't tell her. There we go. The fancy cupcake with the lizard. Tease him. And then it's here. Okay. Fight back. Alright. Now we're here. Okay, let me just save properly. Alright. I wait until Anise leaves the room before I follow after her. It is only after I exit my room that I realize I do not know where Karma's room is. Anise must have assumed that I already knew with us being partners and all. It's fine. I do not need Anise's assistance for this. I can find Karma's room on my own. It takes me some time, but eventually I find a room with his name on the door in careful, flowery letters. It suits him. I simply open the door without thinking to knock. Uh-oh. I expected to find Karma lying in bed, but instead he's standing in front of a mirror, changing his clothes. Princess. Uh-oh. I do not think I have ever seen a shirtless man before. Oh, indeed. He turns to me, and the realization that he's standing there just his pants hits me hard in the stomach. My face feels incredibly, uncomfortably warm. Why are you just standing there? Put on your clothes! And then I notice the large tattoo on his chest. It is a rose ensnared by many vines. I stare at it a few moments before Karma puts a hand there to conceal it. It's rude to come into a lady's room unannounced, you know. Karma slips his usual dress on carefully over his head and then approaches me. I take a step back without realizing. Karma raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me mischievously. It is a familiar look, and it rattles me more now than it ever has before. My princess, you're as red as a tomato. Are you okay? Ugh. Does this man always need to point out the obvious? I'm fine. There's no need to shout, darling. Now what did you come here for? To see me, the beautiful Karma? Does everything always have to revolve around you? Well, you are breaking into my room. I am barely able to stifle a laugh. Well? I cross my arms and frown at him. The smile makes it harder to get my next words out. I came here to thank you. Do my ears deceive me? What did you say, princess? Princess? Thank you for saving me. I saw you fight back. That was a very admirable attempt. You saw me? Yes, as you were coming to the end of the alleyway. But I didn't manage to escape. It doesn't matter, princess. You certainly made the effort. But I digress. You are quite welcome, princess. It was my pleasure. I should leave. Wait, what? I turn to leave, but Karma grabs my hand and pulls me back. But princess, don't you owe me something? So Karma was expecting something in return after all. I should have known. I think you owe me an apology. You did come into my room unannounced after all. What is he talking about? Since you broke into my room, I demand you to help me with my makeup. Then I will forget your transgression. Your makeup. Yes, darling. I thought you were resting because you were going on patrol tonight. Resting? Nonsense. I have much to do. My makeup earlier was so messy that I washed my face in order to reapply it. I cannot believe I'm going to agree to this. Fine. Ah, what a splendid day today is. Come, princess, let's do this by a mirror. Karma pulls me over to the mirror, where I can see both of our faces reflected. My dog is asleep. He has a surprisingly variety of makeup on the dresser beside him. I do not even care that much for my appearance. Why am I helping Karma with his makeup? Now, which feature on the face do you think is the most important one to highlight, princess? What? What are your eyes attracted to most on a person's face? When they're laughing, when they smile? Why is he asking me for my opinion on something so trivial? If someone was smiling, the first feature I would look on their face would be, I gotta save. Probably the eyes. You always look at the person's eyes first, so the eyes. Eyes are the mirrors to the soul, as they say. Does that mean you always look into my eyes, princess? The minute he says that, I look into his eyes. Karma flutters his eyelashes at me, and I look down and grumble. What was that, a trick? Made you look, what do you think? Think. Of my eyes, did they draw you in? I've never looked at Karma's eyes closely, but now that he keeps talking about them, I cannot help but look closer. His eyes are a pretty color. You don't have to answer that, princess. I am just kidding. Of course. Your eyes, on the other hand, are beautiful. You and Rumpel really are the same person. You both spout nonsensical compliments. Nonsensical? Oh, princess, I am so offended. I mean what I say, unlike that fool. Anyway, I'll let you choose the order of things. Fine. Just don't make me look like a clown, princess. I know how much you like to tease me, but I need to get out of here quickly today. If you need to leave quickly, shouldn't you do your makeup yourself? I miss the opportunity to have you help me? Nonsense. If I can, I'll have a good luck, have fun. Thank you, 𝒖🔂💂. Thank you, welcome. If I can, I'll help me with my hair some other time. The way you do yours is beautiful. So close to 1K subs. Yeah, I know. I think I'm at like 19. I don't know, not 19. 89, like 989 or something like that. At least that was before the stream. Yeah, 11 more. Wait, I wanna load. Did I load the wrong thing? Okay, let's try lips. Lips. Blah 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 blah. Oh, it is lips. Wait. Then let's read it. Let's read what it says. Okay. Despite myself, I find my gaze dropping to Karma's lips. Why do I feel like I am walking into a trap? The lips? My princess, I didn't think I ever hear you say that you looked at my lips when I smiled. I did not say that. Oh, but you did, and princess, I do believe you are blushing. Even though Karma never said he was referring to his features, I thought about his lips anyway. The thought makes my heart flop, though I do not have the faintest idea why. Anyway, I agree. Though eyes are important, a smile isn't quite as brilliant without the lips. Without the lips. I try to imagine a smile without lips and shudder. Sorry, princess, I misspoke. Anyway, okay, we read this already. Alright. I always put effort into my hair as mother always emphasized the importance of looking like a princess, but I have never received a compliment on my hairstyle before. Karma gives me his makeup supplies and I start layering the color on his face. When we are this close, I cannot help but carefully inspect every one of his features. I do not think I even did something like this with mother. You know, princess, I don't think I deserve your thanks. I pause and raise an eyebrow at him. What? You have been helping me for a while, and I haven't helped you with your curse at all. What I did today was just a coincidence. Coincidence? I've heard you went to town with Waltz, and so I followed you two. I only happened to catch what happened in the alleyway. You managed to see me, even when there were many other people who didn't. I have good eyes, probably. Probably. It is not like you to be so humble. Briar, I am once again offended. And why were you following us in the first place? You said you were too tired to go into town today. I was worried. It was strange not accompanying you today. Worried? Why would you be worried? Karma looks puzzled for a few moments. He glances at himself in the mirror solemnly, then shrugs. Intuition, perhaps. Waltz mentioned something about feeling watched. Is it something that Waltz and Karma are watching out for that I am not? Karma closes his eyes momentarily, and I take the opportunity to dust his eyes with eyeshadow. He does not seem to mind. Princess, you haven't spoken about what happened today with Delora or Parfait, have you? No, not yet. You came to thank me first. Yes? Oh. Karma falls into silence, and I continue to work, sweeping blush on his high cheekbones. Princess, do you know anything about the man who tried to drag you away today? No, he said only he worked for the king, before telling me he would take me back to the palace. I wonder how he recognized you. I was wondering that myself. How curious and alarming. The only ones who should pose a problem at this time are witches. Witches? What do they want to do with me? Well, I only mean that witches are the only ones who can see through our curses. So that man spoke with a witch. It's possible. But why? Why would the witches want me back at the palace? Or was that man trying to lead me somewhere else? I suppose either way, the man couldn't have wanted to bring me back to the palace for a good reason. Is it possible that a witch gave a commoner a description of you? But then why would... Karma stops talking and looks up at me with something like sympathy. Sorry, I'm just running my head for ideas. Are witches really so dangerous? And what do they want with me in the first place? Rest assured, princess, we will figure this out. I nod my head slowly. I have a lot of questions for Delora and Parfait, but it is possible that even they might not know everything. I will need to think on my own as well, just in case they decide to keep more of their secrets. I look at Karma and shake my head. Next time I will be more wary. I won't let myself be caught unaware. Before I realize it, Karma has his hand on my cheek and is staring at me solemnly. His eyes are as cold and unmoving as steel. Princess, there won't be a next time. That's what I said. Next time I'll make sure you're definitely not alone. Had I been alone today, I might have actually been kidnapped. I know that, but I cannot show weakness. I just need to be more cautious. I am not some damsel in distress, you know. Having someone at your back is far more comforting. Even on the battlefield, knights fight better together. What's wrong? Nothing. He moves his hand away from my face and stands up, sighing. His eyes look suddenly distant and his posture is stiff. I think we're about done here, right? I haven't finished with your makeup though. Wait, why am I even concerned about that? Oh, sometimes simple is better. Or would you like me to sit back down? I do enjoy being pampered by you, princess. I take it back, we are definitely done. Good, thank you for your hard work. In an instant the mood changes, and a bright smile once again graces Karma's face. As much as I hate to do this, I'm going to have to leave you, darling. I have business in town and then a patrol later tonight. I probably won't see you for the rest of the day, but thank you. He's thanking me for putting on his makeup. It was such a small thing. You're welcome. You already thanked me, though. Well, now you can tell I'm twice as thankful as a normal person. That doesn't make any sense, but it's Karma. A lot of things he says does not make any sense. I leave the room with Karma and he leaves the tavern as I go to find Parfait and Delora. The two of them are seated together in the reception, speaking in hushed voices when I arrive. They both pause to look up at me as I walk into the room. Well, well, if it isn't the princess. Took you long enough to come see us? Anise told us you were unharmed. We're glad to see you safe. So how about telling us what happened? When prompted, I tell them everything that transpired in the alleyway. The two listen and only exchange a sullen glance when I am done. Do you know something about all of this that I don't? Why would the witches be after me in the first place? You remember what we said about the Tenebrum corrupting witches? Well, those witches don't like seeing curses broken. They meddle where they can because they can. This is why I cast a glamour on you when you arrive here so that you will remain hidden from magical eyes. I did it to protect you. To protect me. I feel like there is more to this than they are hiding, but I do not think any amount of convincing will get them to say anything. Forgive us, princess. We're not entirely sure what is going on either, though if it was a human that captured you, he must be working with the witches somehow. Troublesome to say the least, but we don't know the details yet. Give us some time to figure things out. Until we figure out who that man is and who he's working for, you need to have an escort with you out of the march-in at all times. Do you understand? And once you figure it out, will you tell me? The two exchange another look, which only makes me more frustrated. They are obviously keeping secrets right in front of me. We'll tell you once everything falls into place. Don't worry, princess. We would never let you be put in any danger. The silence is what ends our conversation. I make my way back to my room, feet heavy. I feel like a fly caught in a spider's web. I try my best to clear my mind as I return to my room. Big stretch! Big stretch! Big stretch, alright. The days go by slowly, and I make no progress with my Still? Karma is busy with the knights today, and Delora and Parfait are busy talking with Rumpel about his curse in his room. Tonight is the perfect night to go and wander around the town by myself. I need to see if I can find out anything about the witches and what is happening around the kingdom. Delora and Parfait are not going to tell me anything, and no one has wanted to take me out of the march-in since the kidnapping attempt. These thoughts spiral helplessly in my mind as I sit at a table. I have just finished working for the day, and the activity in the march-in is beginning to wind down. Garland stands at the door as the last few customers leave the march-in. Julian is walking around the room to make sure there are no problems. Out the corner of my eyes, I notice two men pause halfway across the room to glance back at her. I can overhear their words from where I am. Shame that she's a knight, eh? She's the proud type, too proud to let a man dote on her. Bleeding shame indeed, but do you think if I tried to say something to her? You two. Garland is suddenly standing behind the two men and an uncharacteristically dark glare on his face. Is there a problem? Doors are closing for the night. I'm gonna ask you to please leave. No need to be so uptight, lad. We're on our way out now. The two men walk out and Garland stands in the middle of the tavern area, glaring after them. He more or less pushed them out of the tavern. If Anise had seen that, she'd probably have scolded him. Garland. You okay? Of course. You think you can fool me? I've known you long enough to know that something's bothering you. Neither of the knights seem to notice me here. If they do, they ignore me. Julian is looking insistently at Garland, who looks down at the floor. Is he gonna say something to her? Garland says nothing though. He looks at a loss for words. Finally, Julian reaches out and pokes his shoulder, and he looks up, startled. Still the same as always, the silent, watchful knight. Only says things with certainty when he knows they're the truth. Even the princess is waiting for you to say something. Both knights turn to look at me, and Garland seems surprised. I raise an eyebrow at him, and he hurriedly looks away. Patrol is starting soon. I'll head out first. Okay, stay safe. Garland nods at her with a little smile before he leaves the tavern. Going to sleep soon, princess. I was going to head out. I stand up and get ready to move up to my room, but stop once more to look at Julian. Did you hear what those men were saying? Oh, about me being too proud or something. So she did hear them, but chose to say nothing. It doesn't bother me. They're right. I've been independent for a long time, and I would never think about pledging my safety to a man I barely know. I can take care of myself. Blunt and to the point, Julian was really admired for that honesty in the palace. The only men I've ever trusted before are my fellow knights, Garland most of all, since we've always been partners. She doesn't explain any further, and it is that is for the better. The sooner everyone has cleared out, the sooner I can leave the margin. Tonight is the night I go looking for answers. Sorry, Karma, but I can handle myself. I'm going to prove it tonight. I may not be able to fight, but I can still be cautious enough to not land myself into trouble. Still, I do not happen to hear much of anything, as I am exploring the town tonight. I should have brought along some kind of weapon, but then I would have had to steal a knife from the kitchen. I am not a thief. Hours pass before I find a tavern filled with knights. Deciding I will at least listen to what is happening at the palace, I linger by the open door and listen to what the men are saying. I hear that young Fritz is having a hard time of it. I feel bad for the lad. Even Sir Alcaster thinks he's gone mad. Well, he does keep talking about a princess that doesn't exist. Fritz still remembers me, but how? Even his father is growing weary of his babbling. Sir Mithros forced him on break the other day. He didn't seem happy. Well, Sir Mithros must think he's crazy too. Poor Fritz. Can you keep a secret? The knights look at each other, and I lean close as I possibly can. Apparently, the boy spoke some truth, though Sir Alcaster doesn't quite believe it. He's looking for the daughter of the previous queen. The witch had a daughter. The previous queen, are they talking about mother? How dare they call her a witch? Apparently she did, though I don't ever remember such a girl. This is top secret stuff. I just happened to wrestle this out one of the lackeys looking for her. What would Sir Alcaster need this girl for? I'm assuming she's dangerous and they want to get rid of her. They're talking about me. I'm curious, how are we supposed to find this imaginary princess anyway? Does she have any features? Aye, they described her features. Last man who went looking for her said she wore a special pendant around her neck. I should get out of here. I turn to leave the tavern, but my cloak snags on the door and falls to the floor, tripping me up in the process. I ended up falling halfway into the tavern, where the chapter abruptly stops. Is this... Oh, a lady. The knights that were talking approach me. One of them picks up my cloak. I attempt to grab my cloak from their fingers, but they pull it away from me and I stumble into one of them. Madam? He moves to take my hand, and then he stops when he sees my face. Her face! And the necklace! You'd think she was spying on us. Witch! One of the knights grabs me by the wrist and pulls me towards him. He is far stronger than the man in the alleyway was. Unhand me right now. I am the witch. Then there should be no problem. We're gonna take you in, and if there's some big misunderstanding, we'll repay you ourselves, miss. No, let me go. This behavior is not befitting of a knight. Come on now. Let's go back quietly. Should we try and fight them? Because previously we tried to fight them. Try and convince them. Fighting back is useless when I am not outnumbered. I have to try convincing them that I am not who they think I am. You're mistaken, sirs. I happen to overhear your conversation, and assuming I am some imaginary princess is unreasonable. The knights look at each other. You know, she has a point. She was listening in on our conversation. That's clearly suspicious. Did you not hear what I just said? I happened to overhear it, nothing more. You were cloaked, as if you were trying to hide your features. Being out at night without a cloak is a sure way to draw attention to a lady such as myself. You know, she has a point. Stop saying that, man! Then, ma'am, there should be no problem with us taking you back to the palace. If we are mistaken, we'll clear up the misunderstanding and pay you handsomely. Come on, let's take her to the palace. Uh-oh. The knights lead me out to the empty streets. Why? Why did I have to be so stubborn? The knights continue pulling me down the path until we come to a narrow street. Everyone who sees us walks away to avoid the knights. There is fear in their eyes. But I have done nothing wrong. Ma'am, if it makes you feel any better, we're risking our rank on this as well. I don't know, I'm suspicious of... Who goes there? I look up and notice Karma's familiar figure walking towards us. What is he doing here? And why isn't he in his disguise? Gentlemen, I ask you to unhand that woman. As a knight, I would be ashamed to be seen treating a lady so terribly. And who are you? Her husband. What? Unhand her, gentlemen, or taste my blade. Sir, we were just going to take her to the palace to... I will give you on the count of 3. One knight keeps his grip on me as the other draws his sword. I stare at Karma, who continues to count, though the knight attacks him before his sword leaves his sheath. Karma and the knight trade blows, but it is Karma that comes out victorious. His blade slides past the knight's shoulder, distracting him enough to give Karma the opening he needs. Karma reaches back with his free hand to knock the knight out with a blow to the head. It may just be my imagination, but for a few moments I think I see the knight's blade glimmer across the surface of Karma's hand before he falls. The knight holding me up holds his hands in surrender. I yield, sir. It seems no matter how this situation turns out, you are dishonorable. Please, sir. Karma knocks him out and then stands beside me as he sheathes his sword. Karma, a few moments, Briar. Karma spent some time forcing a potion from a vial down each of the knights' throats. I watched him quietly, fearing that he might have killed them, but the knights only seemed to fall asleep. Potion that Parfait gave me. It will make the men forget they ever saw you. When Karma stands again, I notice the glimmer of blood on his hand and stare. You're hurt. It's nothing. I am sorry. Come on, princess, let's go back. He pulls me right out onto the main street and does not let go of my hand. I cannot bring myself to speak. Hello, Cabbage, welcome. I've been reading very long. Almost 2 hours, okay. Karma has saved me twice now. Not only that, but this time he is injured. He says it's nothing, but his bloodied hand does not move at all. Why do I have to be so stubborn and insist I can handle myself? I do not speak for a long time. Eventually, I notice people start to stare. Though before long, staring grows worse. Young women begin to follow us, giggling from behind. I turn to Karma, who looks like he hasn't slept in days. Karma. Sorry, princess, but I'm not in the mood to talk. Those girls are walking right behind us. This is his curse? Karma? Briar, I just said I'm in no mood to talk. Did you not hear me? We are being followed! He stares behind us, almost stupidly, and then laughs hollowly when the girls see his face. They start to rush towards us, their voices rising and blending together into horrendous cacophony. Karma is not moving. He looks resigned. Maybe he is too tired to realize what he wants to do. I tighten my grip on Karma's hand and pull him away, my pace quickening to a run as the girls chase after us, screaming at me angrily for taking Karma away from them. Briar, what are you doing? Getting us out of here. Briar. I lead him through the town and into the little nooks and crannies where we manage to lose some of the crowd. Karma often led me through some of these spaces as shortcuts. Waltz knew them too. Once we were alone again, I stopped, falling to my knees and letting go of Karma's hand as I catch my breath. There really was a curse having to run away from so many mindless women. It was difficult. Briar. What? I did not mean to snap, but this tiredness is pressing on me too. You helped me out of that. Of course I did. Why would I want to be chased by girls? You could have left me behind and gone on alone. Instead you helped me. You helped me too. I guess I paid you back. Though to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about repaying him for saving me. I just knew that I didn't want Karma to be stuck trying to fend off all those girls. He was right about his curse. That is terrible. And I just realized something. Karma kneels down beside me and waits for me to speak. My curse has people forget me, and yours has even strangers become fascinated with you. It's almost like our curses are opposites of each other, and yet we seem so similar. My eyes widen when I realize what I just said. We are similar, aren't we? He holds out his good hand to me, and I let him lead me back to the tavern through the abandoned alleyways. My feet are heavy, and all I want to do is sleep, but suddenly Karma is standing before me, his face grave. Briar, I have to thank you for helping me earlier. I'm sorry I froze like that and made it more difficult on you. It was so sudden and I was so tired I had no motivation to continue. Shouldn't I be thanking you? I'll accept your thanks, even though I wish you didn't have to thank me in the first place. You should not have gone out on your own when you knew how dangerous it could be for you. I'm sorry. I'll accept your apology too, because I lost sleep over this. I have no words for how I feel right now. Princess? Karma reaches for my hand again, and this time he holds it up and kisses the back of it. Suddenly all my tiredness falls away. You really are a handful. But a delightful handful. I'm going to bandage his hand and then rest. We'll speak later about all of this, okay? But the bleeding stopped on its own, Briar, but it does need to be treated. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Are you sure? As sure as I can be. I don't lie, not even for the sake of a pretty lady. Karma lets my hand go as soon as we enter the margin and then bows politely to me before heading back to his room. I watch him go, my mind whirling. Does he usually kiss women's hands? No, I don't think so. Chapter 6! Did we not get a piece of the glass slipper for that? You really are a handful, but a delightful handful. His words keep repeating in my head. I cannot stop hearing his voice and feeling his lips on my hand. My face feels warm, and every time I think about his words, my heart feels unsteady. I really have to stop thinking about that. Karma is karma, and he puts on that overly polite act with everyone. But then I am pretty sure I have never seen him do something like that with another person. I'll just go downstairs and stop thinking about all this. I need to tell Parfait and Delora what happened. Because of the time I'd returned to the margin yesterday, I never spoke to anyone about what happened. Maybe someone's downstairs, someone usually is. I leave my room and make my way downstairs to the reception. It is quiet when I enter, but not as silent as though I thought it would be. Karma is sitting at one of the tables speaking quietly with Parfait and Delora. His injured hand is sitting on the table, bandaged. I cannot help but stare at it, my heart plummeting. His injury is my fault. So you have yet to hear the entire story? No, I'm afraid I'm not quite privy to the information Waltz has. Is that correct? Waltz has been directly involved in this far longer than you have. What about Waltz? Princess, you're up early. They all turn to look at me as I stand at the table. Karma still looks tired, and is not in his dress. He looks somber, but he still smiles at me. Briar, how nice of you to join us. When did he start saying my name without my title? Briar, you've run into a lot of different mishaps this week, haven't you? I thought you would be stubbornly avoiding work. Instead, you go out of your way to get yourself in trouble. This involves me directly. How would I not be curious? You've also been irresponsible, sneaking out without any of us knowing. I have the freedom to do whatever I want to. I even wore a cloak to... Oh no, the cloak. I left it behind at the bar. I feel a nudge at my arm, and Karma is holding out my cloak with a tired smile. You went back to get this. When? Yesterday, when you were still in bed. You've been running yourself dry these past few days, Karma. It's nothing. Thank you. What's this? Our ice princess is thanking someone? Why is that something so strange? Oh, come now. No, she's not so icy. Briar is more fire than anything. She's filled with unbridled passion and confidence. Confidence that has gotten me nowhere so far. Don't look so dour, Briar. You've become quite the accomplished woman. Karma gestures towards me and I flush, unsure of what she is talking about. Then I notice Delora's eyes are on me too. Oh, Parfait, do you see that? What are they looking at? I reach down to grab my necklace and then pause. I cannot stop the gasp that leaves my lips. Finally, she has one piece! It's been so long. It's been like, counting yesterday, it's almost like 4 hours, and finally she's got one piece. She needs 3 pieces to break her curse, by the way. And to break her curse, she needs to do 3 good deeds, and she's only done 1. When did this happen? Princess, you didn't realize there was an extra piece to your necklace. Congratulations, Princess Briar. You're a step closer to breaking your curse. I feel proud. I only ever felt this way around Mother. She did me a great favor yesterday. If not for Briar, I might have suffocated beneath a pile of very excited women. Wait, helping Karma escape was a good deed. She was selfless. He's not even mentioning the injury he got protecting me. Parfait and Delora are both smiling, but the cheerful mood does not last long. What were you all talking about before I came down? About your kidnapping. Well, kidnappings, both of them. It looks like we have a serious problem on our hands. What do you know about this? What does Waltz know that I don't? Princess, it's more about what everyone else knows that you don't. What everyone else knows. I feel anger begin to simmer inside of me. Even though he looks apologetic, he says it so casually. What are you all hiding from me? Let's gather everyone, shall we? I think Waltz might want to be here for this too. What does Waltz have to do with any of this? Be patient, Princess. You've already waited this long. What's another few hours? I have no choice but to agree when Parfait and Delora refuse to say any more, but I am not happy about it. I spend the rest of my time doing idle chores around the tavern. I do a round of sweeping with Mr. Broom and mindlessly organize some of the bottles. I cannot believe everyone knows something about me that I don't. But now I'll find out the entire story. Maybe it will answer some of the questions I have. But why are they keeping things about me a secret to begin with? Delora gathers everyone in the tavern to discuss the kidnappings. I decide to sit in between Waltz and Karma. So we have a story to tell. Story time, huh? I don't suppose this would be a romance, would it? How can you stand to make comments like that constantly? How can you stand to live a lie? The two glare at each other across the table, but Delora silences them. Delora starts with this story about the Great War, one that I have already heard so many times I can recite it myself. What does that have to do with me? Because of the fairy tales, witches like myself were punished for simply existing. Our leader, the Tenebron Bearer, was a kind witch that was overtaken by the grief that our people suffered. She was driven so far into madness that she created the fairy tale curse to punish humans and make them suffer as the witches had. And then when that was enough, she committed the ultimate taboo. She killed a human. I tried to stop her, but by the time I thought to act it was too late. Knowing Delora and Parfait were involved in the Great War makes it seem more real. But wasn't the Tenebron Bearer killed? How can the fairy tale curse continue to spread if she is dead? I believe that the Tenebron Bearer sacrificed the last bit of her life to continue powering the Tenebron, all to ensure that the remaining witches could continue spreading the fairy tale curse. Is none of this ringing a bell for you? What are you talking about? She really did erase your memories. Erase? The witch who died, the Tenebron Bearer, was your mother, Princess Briar. What? For some reason, I tend to look at Karma, who is one of the only people who doesn't look away from me. I grew up on the outside of this kingdom, but even I knew of the terrible witch, Hildur. You expect me to believe any of this? She wasn't a witch, I would remember that. Well, you would if you had memories of the war, and the years before that. Under Hildur's rule, the palace was a dark place. The king didn't have any real power until Hildur was defeated. That goes for the rest of us too. We were slaves to Hildur. Delora's eyes flickered to Waltz. It's the truth. Waltz knows because he is also a witch. He experienced Hildur's command over the witches firsthand as well. Waltz is a witch? Sorry for keeping it a secret, Princess. It's not as if I can use much magic anymore anyway, not when I'm cursed. This is just another secret of many. It seems everyone is hiding something. Everyone was freed under Hildur's reign. Witches, fairies, and humans alike. The king was even able to marry Ophelia, the woman he always truly loved. So, it has always been Ophelia that he truly loved. Was that the reason I never felt any love from him? Because I was my mother's daughter? He gave up on me. No, dear, I don't think he gave up on me. My voice is too loud in the reception area. I feel it crack beneath the pressure and suddenly I want to cry. But Mother told me so many times not to cry. The king gave up on me. But Mother didn't. Mother would tell me this was all a lie. She would tell me not to trust anyone. They must be lying. I turned to Karma. For some reason, I trust him more than I trust Delora or Parfait. Is this the truth? I was told the story of Hildur and her daughter Briar, that said you were the picture of elegance, but that you shared your mother's icy nature. But I don't think that's true at all. Hildur was ice, then you are most... If Hildur was ice, then you most certainly are a warm fire. If my mother was a witch, then... What does that make me? You're a witch as well, whether or not you were ever taught to use magic. On your upcoming birthday, you will become the Tenebron bearer. You do realize how ridiculous this all sounds. Me, a witch. The king never said anything. And now I cannot even ask him if this is the truth because I am cursed. Why would you even curse me? We didn't want a repeat of the tragedy, Briar. I sat on your shelves for almost a year, princess. There was ice in your heart and you had inherited the Tenebron and if you had inherited the Tenebron in that state, who knows what would have happened. Then why didn't you just tell me any of this? Delora and Parfait looks at each other before dropping their gazes to the ground. If we had told you before, would you have even bothered to listen? The king must have tried to do the same thing, and look how that turned out. You shut out everyone who tried to tell you about Hilder's true nature. That is probably true. Even now I'm having trouble believing that they are telling me the truth. The whole world feels as if it's collapsing around me. I need to escape. I need to go out and be somewhere else, but why are the witches looking for me? You are the heir to the Tenebron. No doubt the evil witches want you on their side so they can continue wreaking havoc in 𝒖𝒔𝒊 with the fairy tale curse. The men that were looking for Briar were not witches though, they were knights. Perhaps the witches and the knights are working together. This must be part of Alcaster's scheme to seal the throne. What are you talking about? The reason why Garland and I left the Order of Caldera was because the king did not believe us about Alcaster's coup. How would he know of the princess's identity though? Anyone who isn't a witch or fairy, or isn't cursed, shouldn't be able to remember her. But now we know that it's not just the witches looking for the princess, but the knights of the Order of Caldera as well. They definitely have a description of her from somewhere. Briar. Karma reaches out a hand to touch my shoulder and I flinch back before standing up. I cannot speak about this now. I want to be alone. Prince, let her go. She'll need a lot of time to think. I leave everyone sitting at the table as I try to process the whirling thoughts in my mind. Hilder, my mother, the only person I ever thought loved me, was a Tenebron bearer, a witch, the first witch to kill a human. The witch that started the fairy tale curse. All this time I thought Mother was the only one who cared, but what if she never did? I stayed in my room for a long time, trying to process everything I've been told. Big oofs! Mom, it's bad, who would have thunk? Days go by before I decide to leave the tavern again to watch Karma practice with the knights. These last few days I felt hollow. Maybe seeing the normal practices will help me feel better. Maybe it will make things feel like nothing's changed. When I arrive at the forest, however, only Karma is standing in the clearing. He's staring through the trees as if he sees something there, but his expression is solemn, almost sad. Eventually he sighs, shaking his head before turning in my direction. Briar. I prepare myself for a response, but find that no more words come to my mind. I have not spoken to Karma since the talk about Mother and witches, and any of the ease I felt with him before I slipped away. Still, I came here on my own, and I cannot just stand here being mute. I say the first thing that comes to mind. Where are Julian and Garland? I'll only train with Garland. Julian is on patrol duty tonight. He'll be here later. I just came early. It seems you did too. Briar, are you okay? I'm sorry I haven't been by to see you. It's not as if you owe that to me. I don't owe it to you, but I truly wanted to. I've been busy these past few days scouting the town for information. As much as I want you to come with me, why would you ever have wanted to pair up with someone like me anyway? Why, princess, that's because I'm bitter and cold, and even though I want to change, all I can think about is myself. Now I want to change because I do not want to be the same as my mother. Isn't that selfish? Maybe so, but I believe you are being selfish for the right reasons. An entirely selfless person can't survive in this world. Before we can make others happy, we have to be happy ourselves. Happy. Ourselves. Yes, an angry person who holds resentment towards everyone, and it mars whatever good deeds they do. That is why I cannot complete my good deeds. Wrong, you've already got one done. Recognizing the need for change is always a good thing, Briar. Regardless of the motivation, you are trying to become a better person. That is what matters. He takes a step toward me and puts his hands on my shoulders and leans down until I can look right into his eyes. Karma's serious expression startles me as much as his touch. It is never too late for anyone to change. You taught me that. What? How could I have taught Karma anything? Do you mind if I tell you a story, Briar? Blah, 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 blah. Don't move. With his face so close, all I can do is stare right into his eyes. Karma's hands tighten on my shoulders, and for a few moments I feel a slight panic rising in my chest. Then Karma steps away from me with a rough shake of his head. Karma. Next time I do that, Briar, feel free to push me away. What? It's better that way. What does he mean by that? You never answered. Will you listen to my story? Wait, did I do the wrong thing? Wait. I take a step away from him. The story better may be dramatic as my thank you, Briar. What? For what? For agreeing to listen. Okay? And for what you just did. Stepping away from him. Was I distracting him? Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a crown prince from a kingdom called Brigantia. Brigantia is one of the neighboring kingdoms, so this isn't make-believe. His name was 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 𝑪𝒓𝒆𝒅𝒊𝒕𔔔, but because the name was such a mouthful, he settled for an acronym as a nickname, at least around the palace, where it was acceptable. Cloud 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎. Prince Cloud was a man who flaunted his beauty and talents to all that he met. He often used his title to get what he wanted. Prince Cloud was a selfish man who felt he was entitled to everything that he had. He was vain and often left his castle unattended so that he could avoid his responsibilities. Then one day he chanced upon a beautiful maiden in the town square. He led her around the whole day, being as charming as he possibly could, and then at the end of the day, he asked the woman to be his lover. She agreed, but their time together did not last long. Only weeks later, Prince Cloud threw her away as one throws away an object and broke the woman's heart, and she cursed him. That beautiful maiden was a witch, but Prince Cloud found out too late. The witch said he would make his beauty, his vanity, a curse. To make even beauty a curse. Ashamed of being cursed, Prince Cloud donned his disguise and left his kingdom behind. He has been gone for nearly a year now, and most probably assume he is dead. But in truth, the prince had come to Angeal seeking a way to break his curse. He had heard of a young lady named Briar, who, on her 18th birthday, could dispel any curse. Karma. He looks so sad I don't know how to comfort him. Claude. Karma. Claude turns a startling red as he stares at me for a few moments. He does not speak. Then he bursts out laughing. I stare at him in shock, not understanding his reaction. I feel myself flush. Isn't that your real name? No, darling, it is. But hearing you say my name, well, it sounds so much softer out of your lips. I'd rather like it. My cheeks are warm again. How is it that he is always able to make me feel this way? I will call you by that name if it makes you happy. Let's make it a secret between the two of us. I'm still Miss Karma here. Besides, I'd rather you kept that name for my ears only. It makes me feel more special that way. More special? At that moment, Garland shows up for practice, and Claude politely excuses himself. I watch the two of them trade blows. Claude favors his other hand, but his blows still come quickly, even with his injury. The more Claude tells me, the more I realize that he's, like me, a noble cursed for being selfish. But how do I help him break his curse? Why can't he tell me? As practice is drawing to a close, Claude asks Garland the usual question. You're gonna take for your laptop, see ya. Bye! Bye! Thank you for coming! Big stretch. Big stretch, alright. We can keep going. Have you confessed to Jurian yet? Garland only shakes his head in reply. The two men sheathe their swords. Garland looks almost sad as he turns to make his way back to the tavern. He likes her, and yet he won't say anything. Why is that frustrating me so much? Garland. Yes, princess. Big save. Claude told me before that confessing is hard, but what Garland is going through looks even harder. Princess, you know I'm incapable. No, you think you're incapable, but if you never say anything to her, you never know. If I say something wrong, I risk losing everything that I already have with her. And if you say nothing, you risk losing what you could have with her. Briar's right. Maybe you should really tell her, Garland. But before, Claude was adamant that Garland shouldn't confess to Jurian. What changed? If I mess this up, let's try looking at it through another lens. Imagine that Jurian is Briar. How do you think she would like to be confessed to? I frown at the two men, arms crossed. Excuse me? Well, you and Jurian are very similar. You're both very straightforward. Confess to the princess. My eyes move to Cloud, but only fleetingly, before they are once again on Garland. You just need to do something simple, Garland, something that will not rub her the wrong way. A maiden's heart is ever fragile, and each woman is different. Cloud is wearing an amused smile on his face, but he is looking at me, not Garland. I feel my face flush and have to look away. Briar, you're tomato red again. It's adorable. Cross my arms over my heart, rapidly beating heart again, and force a scowl on my face. No, I was just thinking about what Garland would do. Something simple, like when Karma kissed my hand. Garland kissing Julian's plan is probably not a good idea. Maybe he could do what Cloud and I did one day and how he can buy her some food and they can just talk. Garland, have you ever asked Julian out for food? Not alone. Julian is practical and always eats at the tavern. She's also always on duty if she's available. I'll take her patrol shift 2 nights from now then. And tomorrow, you can ask her out for a meal. We can make your invite a grand affair. We can drape banners on the walls, or I could give you a rose. That sounds like a terrible idea. I'm offended. I feel like if I did something like that for Julian, she would get embarrassed and punch me. Sounds like another lady that I know. Cloud grins at me, but I just roll my eyes. Garland, just ask her normally, and then when you are out and alone together, you confess. And we'll make sure you have the time to do it. I'll purposely come late to practice tomorrow night, so you can ask her out for that date. How does that sound? You two really think I can do this? You just have to ask the question. Whatever follows will at least be an answer. Tomorrow night then. Good man, I'm sure it will go swimmingly. Or I could drown. You won't drown, Garland. Garland excuses himself with a nervous smile, before Cloud turns to me expectantly with a mischievous grin. Now Briar will come here early tomorrow and spy on them. We'll need to scope out a good spot. Spy on them. Of course, we need to make sure that our efforts pay off. I don't think we should. You don't want to see how it plays out? I mutedly shake my head, unable to put my emotions into words. For some reason, I am imagining myself in Jurian's position. It feels too personal. Cloud's likeliness suddenly springs to mind, and I feel my face grow hot again. Briar, you've been oddly out of it today. Cloud reaches out a hand toward me, then abruptly pulls away. I stare as he smiles at me, almost sheepishly. The conversation between us dies, and we return to the march-in. Days pass, and though I did not spy on the conversation between Jurian and Garland, I noticed that Garland has been spying from ear to ear during his practice with Cloud lately. I can only assume that his confession went well. Cloud took the patrol shift tonight, and as I lie in bed, I am restless. Every time I watch Cloud practice with Jurian and Garland, I'm reminded of the palace, of Fritz. I wonder how Fritz is doing. Is he still practicing with the other knights? My thoughts darken as I recall the kidnappings. Claude had to save me every single time. He got injured saving me. Unable to sleep, I slip out of bed and make my way to the reception room. The night air is cool, and no one stops me from standing just outside of the march-in. I cannot just sit back and do nothing anymore. I have to act. I do not want Claude to get hurt because of me again. Eventually, I see Claude approach. He looks tired and is moving more slowly than usual, but when he sees me, his lips quirk into a smile. Briar, what are you doing out here tonight, love? Love instead of darling. That's new. Hello, Claude. His face is dark red again. If you're using my real name, I suppose you've come to ask for something serious. How could you know that? I do need to ask something of you. Well, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here, love. What? Oh, is this not... Never mind. I'm asking if you will be my instructor. For some reason, I seem to have caught Claude off guard. He stares at me for a few moments. What? I want to learn how to use the sword. I want you to be my instructor. Claude's expression becomes uncharacteristically serious. I'd rather you didn't learn how to use the sword. I do not want you to have to keep protecting me. I don't mind protecting you. I do. Claude sighs and shakes his head. Princesses shouldn't be using swords. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. You are. I do not want you to get hurt again when I could do something about it. Teach me, please. Claude. Once again, he flushes. It seems to be an instant reaction, and it is both amusing and endearing. It won't be easy. I wasn't expecting it to be. Claude stares at me for a long time before finally letting out a heavy sigh. Fine, I'll train you. You won't learn in a day, but I can teach you the essentials. You can use one of the knight's training swords. Thank you. Music to my ears. Meet me in the clearing in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? What? You said you wanted to train, so we will. Don't expect me to go easy on you. But aren't you tired? He looked exhausted when you came in, and now he wants to train. Already trying to get out of training? I'm not. Claude shakes his head, but he's smiling. I'll see you there in a few minutes, love. Moonlight spills through the leaves, illuminating the forest with gentle light. Long minutes pass, and as I stand in the clearing, I begin to feel restless. It isn't like Claude to be late. Is he tending to his injury? I hear rustling in the leaves and turn immediately to see what the disturbance is, but the minute I do, I am pulled back by a strong force, and my world goes dark. Before I can scream, I hear a gentle voice in my ears. Lesson 1, Briar. When apprehended by an enemy that you can't see, remain calm and use your 5 senses to judge how best to get the upper hand. This voice is coming from right behind me. Claude? I become aware that this is the closest he's ever been to me, with my back pressed to his chest like this. Panicking disorients the mind. That is why you must remain cool under any circumstance. How could I not panic? Any normal person would panic. Still, I try to force myself to be calm. Lesson 2. Enemies will often let down their guards when they think they have the upper hand. Catch your opponent off guard by remaining calm and locating his weakness with your senses. I try to calm myself as Claude instructs, and I feel it is a bit easier, but only because I know it is Claude. An opening. I move as quickly as I can, stepping forward so that I can swing an elbow back at Claude's stomach. Before that happens, Claude has pulled me back to him, closing whatever distance I put between us. In the process, he moves his hand from my eyes to my mouth. I can once again see the forest, but my words are muffled beneath his hand. Another thing to remember, you won't always be able to catch your enemy off guard by throwing punches or hits at them. Your opponent will usually always be stronger than you, Briar. Remember what I said about a weakness. Enemies will often let their guards down when they believe they are winning. Just like I have. An opening. A thought occurs to me as I glance around and down at Karma's bandaged hand. Karma's bandaged hand is over my mouth. Is this an opportunity or a trick? 10 more to 1K. Really? I didn't notice that we got a new subscriber. Because I've been reading for the past 2 hours. But welcome, Anton Kiwami. Anton/Kiwami. Should I say Anton or Kiwami, actually? Alright. Karma's bandaged hand is over my mouth. Is this an opportunity or a trick? What would you do, princess? What kind of tactic would remove you from my grasp? Alright, I'm gonna bite his hand. I'm going to feel terrible about this, but I have to try. I try to shift my head to get enough space to bite down, and even Cloud cannot hold me completely still as I squirm. Eventually, the hand over my mouth moves just enough for me to open my mouth, but I falter. I cannot bite the hand that I injured. Unable to do anything else, I mutely shake my head and yet hear Cloud groan. In one swift motion, he pushes me to the ground, pinning my hands by my head as he frowns at me. You're not even going to try and find an opening? I glare at him. I'm not going to bite your hand. Bite my hand? I didn't even think of that. But you made it obvious. You put your hand over my mouth. I meant for you to try moving my hand. Pushing back a person's thumb usually causes their grip to loosen. How was I supposed to know that? Experience is the best means of practice, as they say. I have a complaint about that particular lesson, but I withhold it. That was a pretty good attempt, love, but not good enough, I'm afraid. I wasn't expecting you to come at me like that. I was expecting sword practice. You weren't expecting a man to kidnap you in the alleyway, were you? I glare up at him, unable to say anything because he is right. You're oddly quiet. It is hard to find an opening to hurt you when you are not really my enemy. He does not move, but continues to stare at me. His face is close to mine. Close enough to what exactly? Briar, do you trust me to protect you? That's not the point. I need to be able to protect myself. Because you're planning on investigating the witches on your own. No, I want to be able to protect myself because I do not want you to get hurt protecting me. Claude leans down and I feel his hair at my cheek. For a few moments, everything slows to a stop, and all I can hear is my heartbeat and his slow breathing. Once you set your mind to something, you don't let go, do you? Clock pulls away from me before I can respond, and he's standing again, offering me a hand. Let's get started with some sword work then. A pleasant smile is back on his face. I can never tell what he's thinking at times like this. What are you really like, Claude? How many okay, wait, before we go on, I should check how many chapters are there, because I feel like this is I like this game. I've played this game before, but I don't remember how many chapters are there. And I was reading with my eyes, not with my mouth. So I'm gonna quickly Google how many chapters are there. Let's see. What's it called? I don't remember what the game is called. Wait. Cinderella phenomenon. Number of chapters. Each route consists of 6 chapters. What? So that's the last chapter? Is that it? Let me check. Oh wait, no, this is a different let's see. Oh, there are 10 chapters. Okay. Wait, let me double check. Karma. Oh, there are 9 chapters. Okay. So I think this would be a good place to take a short break. I will go and actually can I go for like 2 more hours? I think actually maybe I should just stop here. But then there's only 3 more chapters. I mean, well, including this chapter. There's 3 more chapters. Wait, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's 3 more chapters. I think I will take a break here, and then I will continue streaming later, like maybe in another couple hours, if that's okay. I think that's okay, right? Yeah, I think maybe like in another hour I'll go get something to eat, and then I'll come back with my vocal cords refreshed for another 2 more hours. Alright, let me just save. Oh wait, I already saved. But yeah, you can kind of tell that my voice is kind of giving. Yeah, these are the routes you can take. But yeah, I'm gonna go take a break, because I cannot keep going like this. I need to take a break. So I'll see you guys in like another. Actually, will Stream Elements even detect the chat? I think it will. Give it an hour, I think it will. But yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Wait, I need to make a new thumbnail. Bye-bye-bye.